Are we expecting too much from Normani? Here's why I ask. Normani's album just dropped, finally, and I worry that a lot of people are not going to let her live that down. I've seen a lot of critique about Normani's marketing and branding and how she just really hasn't been positioned for the kind of star power that she could have been. And up until like 24 hours ago, I actually had the same opinion. I felt like it was difficult to connect with her as an artist. When she released Motivation years ago, I played that song on repeat. And based on the visuals for that song, I thought Normani was going to end up doing a little bit more of what Victoria Monet has ended up doing, which is giving us this mix of contemporary style and nostalgia, but it didn't end up going that direction. So anyway, I wanted to give the album a fair shot and like listen to it all the way through and not write it off just because it took forever to come out. So I've listened to it in full like 3 times already, and I like it, but it did get me to thinking, are we expecting too much from Normani because we expect any Black girl pop artist to aspire to the level of the Beyoncés, the Rihannas, the whoever else's of the world? And is that a fair standard? And then that got me thinking about how we talk about art like sports. I kind of don't want to ride that wave anymore. The critiques I've seen include things like, this album came out and nobody cares about it. It's not charting, blah, 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 right? I think the people who care about it care about it. I think the people who are interested in Normani and what she was going to do in her own body of work are listening, are checking it out, and are forming their opinions about it. But when you assess it from the context of how it's performing in comparison to her counterparts or the women who came before her in this industry, I kind of think it casts a shadow on her as an artist that's not necessarily fair. And it made me think about the way that non-Black artists get the opportunity to just kind of operate in their lane without necessarily having to be compared to the best of the best in their category. Like, I think about another artist that I like, Alina Baraz. Alina Baraz has a signature sound, and when you listen to an album of hers, you're not necessarily listening to it for like vocal range per se. It's a vibe, it's a cool background soundtrack, you could drive to it, you could chill to it. You're not expecting Alina Baraz to be Christina Aguilera. So why do we hold Black female artists to a standard of certain Black female artists who represent like peak performance in the industry, as opposed to like letting them vibe out in their lane? Like, am I tripping for that? But with all of that being said, I hope people will let go of the fact that it took so long to release the album and really give it a thorough listen. There was lots of things that I enjoyed about the album. Sonically, I still don't really know what Normani's signature sound is, and maybe after this project we'll start to discover that more. But listening to parts of the album definitely reminded me of like the Danity Kane, Dawn Richard era, particularly songs like Insomnia and Little Secret. The songs that I love most were the ones with a little bass in the beat. There's a couple of really good like strut songs in here. So in no particular order, my top 5 favorite songs from Normani's new album: Big Boy, Candy Paint, All Yours, Take My Time, and Still. Let me know if you listened to the album, what were your favorite songs, and let me know if you think that we are doing too much when it comes to talking about Normani and her marketing. Mwah.